I told her I was gonna call her
Fire 716, your boy Big Frank. You're locked into Big Frank in the morning. What it is, what's up? How you feeling this morning? I hope that your day is going well. Am I live in the
Yeah.
All right. 222. All right, maybe my headphones ain't loud enough. How y'all feeling this morning? Locked in the room with me, my homegirl, Jay Cherie. My day of the dark night, the provider. What it is, what's up? How you feeling? How you living? How you breathing? How you moving? How is y'all week thus far? Talk about it.
It's been long. It's been a really, really long week, but like a week of like self-observation.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what's really a priority and what is just stuff I'm kind of like wasting time on.
Mm-hmm.
And I waste a lot of time on unnecessary stuff. But I use it as like downtime, but it's not really downtime because it's unnecessary.
Valid.
So like, I'm like, yo, I should be pushing my life coaching a lot harder. But you just sitting here kind of chilling.
No valid.
Like doing, yeah.
Yeah, my addiction is television. I come to grips that TV is my problem.
Yeah, it's binge watching shows that are binge watching.
No,
like it's not that hey, you got that one show, like that one experience,
a couple of them.
Where it's like a movie. It's like you binge watching something that got 18 seasons. Like, it
just watching Grey's Anatomy for the 8th
time. And I am right now. I'm on season 6 of Grey's Anatomy. But no, like I understand like downtime, but it's like in that downtime, I should just be like pushing my business a little bit harder. And then every day I go to class, I still wonder why I want to be there.
We like that. Daniel, how was your week?
I've been on vacation, so I've been chilling.
Okay, vacation and chilling.
I should have been at work.
I should have been at work.
So
It'd
that's
like
how I've always
that.
been. I should have been at work.
Like
that bad or
no? I've been so bored. I should have been at work. I could have.
Got you. I get you.
What about yours, Frank?
Full, impactful. I will say this. I will say, I went to 43 North last night. Their pitch competition. That was a good experience to watch. I'm in a program right now where I'm able to do a pitch, not quite 43 North, but they have some good stuff. This guy had a joint called Kitty Credit, and he was one of the 5 winners. $1 million each.
Yeah,
wow.
Valid. But pros and cons of the situation. But I don't want to get into that too aggressively on this morning.
Yeah.
But
I've been to one.
Yeah, but to go to one, to watch one, to do a pitch is a great experience. But it lets you know the due diligence you have to do as a business when it comes to knowing your business and trying to get somebody else to tap into it.
Right.
Which is something to know. So that was good. I had class this week, so that was great. But prayer on yesterday was hit different, and I thank God for that because we've been talking about the stresses of just life and going through things, and I've been having a conversation. But in prayer yesterday, I was praying, and he was just like, "I'm about to snatch you out." I said, "Oh Lord, I've been snatched." like literally, I'm getting ready to pull you out of the mindset that you've been in. Not saying that the trouble has changed or that the challenges aren't there, but mentally, I'm snatching you out, and I realized that I've been snatched out. I also realized that me and my son is the same. I put this on Facebook, but when I go to school to get my son, he starts jumping like he just and I just realized that when the glory of God shows up, I am a jumper. I jump in place.
You jump really high, and it's like because you're tall, so it's like thank God for high school.
No, I'm like that. I really be jumping in the presence of the Lord, like children.
But honestly, that's what I felt about Bible study.
Yeah,
on Tuesday. Wow, I didn't teach. Yeah. I was like, she came back with God's full glory on her. And I was like, oh, yeah. This, okay, because she was like, who's supposed to be teaching? And I was like, I'm supposed to be teaching, but you back and you seem like you're full. So just like, and if anybody knows our pastor, they already know the glory sits with her.
Yeah, for sure. The
experience I had with her on Tuesday, it was like the glory of God and the power of God was on her so strong. Before she even put her hands on me, the glory, she stood in front of me.
Yeah.
And the whole shift started happening.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, God, I need to get there. Like, it made me evaluate how hard am I really pursuing God?
Yeah.
because I was like, you didn't even put your, not to say laying hands are necessary, but like the presence is with you so strong that the transformation started just standing in front of me.
Is that showing up?
No, it was something else.
Like, and then you laid hands, and then
yeah.
So I was like, okay, like they not ready.
No,
this Sunday gonna be real interesting. Praying for y'all.
Listen, she got a 3-part.
I know she got a 3-parter, but Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
How old are you?
All right, y'all. We're about to get into the conversation today, and I was at home washing dishes, and I talked, and I don't know why, it hit me randomly, and I was just like, why are we basing our future and our decisions off of a presentation from people on social media, people that's opinionated, and we're trying to shape our life and our future, trying to appease or please people whose life ain't a hill of beans. And the person I thought about, unfortunately, was Will and Jada. I'm so sorry, because Jada came out to say that her and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. But then we're at this red table talk talking, and he out here defending, and we having all this dialogue and conversation about a relationship about two people who not even tapped into each other. Like, we're not even.
That's because they said divorce is never an option.
But I get a bad, and they said bad marriage for life.
Bad marriage for life.
And
at that point,
is that what they said?
Yes. So like when I watched the Red Table Talk, I was just like, oh God, this is the epitome of toxic behavior. Like they said, divorce is not an option. They do not believe in divorce, and she doesn't believe in it based on what her mother and stuff went through. She was like, I will never get a divorce, and they was like bad marriage for life, and I was just like, please take me out the group chat.
Yeah, but. And what we do is like we take the girl got the song, we can go back like Will and Jada is not it. Matter of fact, Oprah's family is like none of these people that you call at the time. Matter of fact, long story short, Alicia Keys, you're not okay.
I'm surprised they still married. I'm gonna be honest.
No, when you want, I guess when you work at home, you know how to keep it unwrecked.
You gotta go nowhere. Studio at the house.
At the house. But I just realized that as people, whether in church or not in church, we are so concerned about other people's opinions and ideas and thoughts that we begin to shape our future to really please people than understanding our value or our worth, and we don't figure that out until down the line.
Right.
Oh, here we are now, 20 years, 30 years later, I'm trying to live for somebody else that realizing, oh, I have this value. But what you've been doing all this time? Like, I had really been trying to live to please people. And that was something that I talked about recently, because I've been guilty of trying to navigate my life, really trying to please other people. And in this business course, I say all the time, I'm coming to understand that, I got to make some adjustments.
Yeah. And
you don't realize it. And I'm gonna say this. I mean, I like it because I believe I'm a servant. I believe in serving. But sometimes in the heart of serving, we will sacrifice ourselves to a degree where there's no benefit in return, if that makes sense. Like, I know that we serve as ministers, we serve as leaders. I'm here, but God has a return. He has a promise that we have in exchange. But in that same heart of serving, we can get lost because there's a level of elevation and growth. And I think that as people, even as believers, that we need to make sure that we are balancing out all areas of our life, not just as a servant, but just like, who are you living for?
Yeah.
Like, are you living for God? Are you living for these people? Are you living to please your cousin, your auntie, them? Because I made a lot of decisions trying to please people.
Yeah.
But then what happens is at the end of the day is like, now that I've discovered this moment and I put myself in this predicament, because when you put yourself last, but now that I'm last and I'm trying to be first, I'm like, now I'm in trouble. Because now I'm facing challenges and difficulties that I wouldn't have to had to deal with when I had my bag or had my whatever. I put myself as a priority,
right?
But then I'm conflicted. Let me just be honest with you, because I am a servant. So it's like, God, so this is a question I'll ask you. I guess we in counseling. I guess no, yeah.
That's a fee.
Point, nigga.
So how do we navigate? How do we truly navigate and balance? Hey, as a believer first. Other folks I do admit it. But as a believer, how do we truly balance? Okay, Lord, I'm a servant and I'm here. I'm available. I make sacrifices, but also
5 minutes.
Oh yes. Put yourself first.
I mean, when and this is just since we in counseling, it really comes to the point of, is your servanthood causing you to be depleted and regret your yes? Because I had the one thing I had to learn when it comes to my motive behind certain things was the purity of the motive. And if I'm serving to the point of depletion, like my motive used to be, I'm a live to prove that I don't really need my dad. Like I'm just no, because I'm gonna just do this so I don't need you. Like I can live this life without you, bruh. And it wasn't that, I was trying to X my father out. It was really to the point. It was just like more nurturing. It was really just the point that, I didn't like the dependency.
Yes.
But when it came down to the point of, there was times where God was humbling me and I needed him. It was like, what are you really trying to prove? Like, what are you really trying to get to? And when I came to the realization that I was putting an unrealistic expectation of self, we need people.
Yeah.
We need people. You're going to go through life needing people. But as far as serving to the point of depletion, I remember having a conversation with my pastor, and she was like, if you just need a break, take a break. Like, don't exhaust yourself to the point that you can't be effective. If you keep serving it to a point where you're not even effective no more, it's time to take a really big look and be like, why am I going this hard?
Yeah.
I don't have time for God, because I ain't spent no time with the Lord because I've been serving this whole time. I'm spiritually depleted. I'm physically depleted. Like, to the point of depletion is when you have to take take an introspective look and ask yourself, like, what is the motive behind me going so hard? Because a lot of times when you dig that deep, you're trying to fill a void. Yeah. You're trying to deal with the internal issue, and you get confirmation from serving because, you're doing a good job. Right. You get the praises and accolades and things that you really feel like that are missing. So you're serving to get those instead of serving with a pure purpose. Right. Yeah. That'd be $10. No. And it can happen. It can happen so swiftly, and it can happen swiftly. Not that I'm here now for the accolades, but they begin to feel good and feel efficient. But at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, I don't know what that means all the way, but when it gets real, I guess you really have to evaluate. Okay, Father, in my servitude, in this idea, because let me just talk about the social concept of even being a Christian in the church. Is serving a key element to being a minister? 100%, absolutely not a game. Cleaning bathrooms, take care of that stuff, avail yourself, be present, be consistent, be real, all those things. I'm not going to y'all, but enough is enough. Those things are important. But what's also required is that balancing act of, okay, Lord, I do need a break. I do need to be able to take a reprieve. All right. Or to delegate, and I said this on Sunday, being able to advance in your element of servitude, because you can't always serve. Some of our problems is that we're exhausting ourselves because we're over. This sounds crazy. Over serving in the same area that we've been serving in now for 10 years. At some point, your servitude has to evolve because in this time frame, somebody else is coming up that can handle what you've been handling. But the question is, are you willing to relinquish it and move on to the next phase? And I think that may be hard. Yeah, that may be hard for some people to do. So listen, y'all, we got a quick commercial break. We're going to prepare for real quick, 30 seconds. We'll be right back. Big Frank in the morning, Jay Sheree, Kev, been missing. That's how it is. Daniel, the Dr. Provider, we'll be right back to continue this conversation about this social lies and manipulation in the church. I guess we're going to a place. I see it. A red carpet event. Noah Red Carpet Award Show. Saturday, October 21st at 6 p.m. Doors open up at 5 p.m. at Antonio's Banquet Hall, 7708 Niagara Falls Boulevard in Niagara Falls, New York. A silent auction, basket raffle and wine raffle,
and dinner and dancing. Get your tickets now by going to noahniagara.org or call 716-628-2486.
Make sure you guys avail yourself for that. That's happening on, again, the 21st of October. If you can define or know, give me the definition, not the definition. Give me the acronym NOAH. If you can tell me what it means, we have a ticket for you. We're giving away one ticket for the gala and award show going down October 21st. If you can tell me the acronym for NOAH and what it means, and give us a call, 716-205-8136. That's 716-205-8136, and that is for the NOAH's Red Carpet Gala and Award Show. Back to the conversation at hand. So now, can we talk about these social lies and manipulations? So I was in a conversation, and I want to get too heavy in money. Somebody brought up this elder. I think he elder. He might love God. I'm not sure. He loves the Lord, but he might love the church. But he asked, why do preachers beg for? The statement was, if God can provide all our needs, why is the preacher begging for money? And something that you said in the conversation triggered this, because we realized that God uses people. Mm-hmm. And I think that I wanted him to really dive into the difference of what are you calling begging? Are you saying that I'm begging like, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging, baby? Or are you telling me my petition to teach you the concept of tithe and offering in the middle of doing tithe and offering? Is that begging? Or is it begging because of actually about what we need in church? And I think that sometimes we think that everybody is money hungry. We think everybody is about, it's about the money. No, your money is required for the moving of this kingdom. We talked about this before for a hot second. And I think that people think that the church is all about just they want your money, they want your money, they want your money. The reality is, I don't know what world y'all live in yet again, but finances are required to move this kingdom forward naturally.
Right.
Naturally. And I think that what has happened is we've decided to take the 10 or 20 people in our circle that may be preachers who have violated and projected that on all churches around the world. And that's just not the case. And I think that sometimes that people are turned off by it. I get it. But I also think that people are just like uneducated for real.
I think if we really took the time to explain that the church is a business.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's like a business like, we got employees and all, but it's a business as far as when you come in, the heat is on. When you come in, the lights are on. With y'all, y'all talking about we need praise and worship and music and that. Okay, there's musicians. Mm-hmm. We got the internet because we stream live, so the sick and shut in can get a word. Mm-hmm. There's toilet paper. There's paper towels. There's soap. There's certain things that the church does need to maintain functionality. But like you were saying, when you get the pastor who is begging the people to buy him a plane, right. And being mad that you didn't get the plane, the one thing that I've noticed about the world is that when that stuff happens, the church is hungry. Like the church want money. The church want this. The world is the biggest attacker on the church, but wants to be involved in the church so bad.
No, valid for sure.
But most, and I say this all the time, most pastors are bivocational. Yeah, they are not just pastors. They got jobs. Some got 2 jobs. I know a preacher right now that's got 3 jobs, and getting her doctorate. It's not even just you. They look at the TD Jakes, the Joyce Meyers, the Paula Whites, you can live off of money. No, a lot of these preachers are bivocational, and they're working not because they want to work, but they're working to operate with the function of the church.
And watch it. And those names, because they have mega ministries. Delane, good morning, Stream. Good morning.
Good morning, but they all didn't start that way.
It's Carlita.
Yeah, y'all didn't start that way.
No, they didn't.
TD was traveling in a van that
Valid with holes in his shoes.
Never had his hair cut.
Right.
Creflo Dollar started off in mental health, like working at group homes.
Right. And I say this because those people who have mega ministry, that's a mega mortgage. That's mega lights.
Right.
That's mega gas. That's mega fuel.
Mega tissues.
That's not valid. And now we have to employ people to maintain this facility
Because that's what it is now.
because that's what it is now. And once again,
Now I got 50 ushers.
I got valid. And there's a level of yes, there are those who serve,
security.
but then y'all won't. We are so busy actively doing things now. I can't expect Sally and Tom just to be like, oh, I'm just gonna be here. No, I need to make sure that this thing is functioning.
Yeah.
So now I have a hired staff. So anybody who want to complain and talk about the church shouldn't be a business, well.
It's providing a service.
It's providing a service. And for this service to execute, it is required.
I need $10.
You got to give into it. And then somebody made this statement. I'm sorry, we socialize and manipulation. And right now we're in the kingdom. Because somebody was like, oh, back in the day in the Bible, they didn't bring money. They brought, animals and that was
my thing is fine. If that's bring tissue, bring soap. You know what I'm saying? Like
Jesus also instructed them at certain times, don't take money with you.
Right.
They never said that the disciples didn't have a little coin on them every now and then to go get a chicken, a ram, or nothing. There was just times where
somebody wearing the fish's mouth.
Right. Like there was just times where Jesus said, don't take money and stuff with you because where you're going, you're going to be provided for. So I don't believe that at any given time that the disciples and Jesus was broke the whole time.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not going to stay in the house of the Lord too much longer because I can get to a place, okay, and get the roasting everybody and be like, well, I'm not. But my true message here on this morning's show is like, what are you basing your values off of in building your future? Like, what are you looking at? What aids your foundation? What motivates your goals to get to a place? Because if you're basing it off of this current culture of inconsistencies and of opinionated individuals, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble because the culture is going to always change. And if you're basing it always off, I'm part of the problem. I am on TikTok. I do have a podcast, but it's all these voices out here. And my question right now is like, what voices are you listening to help build your future? Like, what are you feeding yourself to help yourself evolve? Yeah. Because the conversations that's out here now, I am scared for my children. I am petrified.
Yeah.
But as many generations were before us, but I am. It's just like,
I came to this realization because I think weirdly, but my train of thinking is also hilarious. I was like, we live in a culture where Milli Vanilli was ostracized for lip syncing and TikTok is nothing but lip syncing. Like, people are getting money for doing the very thing that Milli Vanilli got in trouble for.
Milli Vanilli's going on TikTok.
Listen, but at the same time, to answer your question, I'm really gleaning and looking for the people who set up the model for mental health for me.
Yeah. So
there's certain people high in positions that I'm like, I'm not going to do it just like you, but I see the concept of how you move. Like I follow this thing called Sneakerhead. I got to finish the application, but this thing called Sneaker Master, and they're like offering opportunities for you to meet with this person, and then if you win, you also get $10,000. But it's mastering your art with designing sneakers. So it's like everything that I'm feeding into myself. Okay, I may not, if you let me win a contest, great. But if not, I'm learning from a guy who is known for mastering sneakers because that's what I want to do. I'm gleaning from people who have made a mark in mental health history.
Right.
To learn their model, to learn, okay, this is how I started. And even yesterday, I was having a conversation with my homegirl, Kendra. She has her own business. Just gleaning from her on even your expectations of support. And she said something that is so real. She was like, your people are not going to support you. Your family is not going to support you. She was like, the biggest supporters are going to be the strangers that you come in contact with. So go for the strangers. And just having those kind of gleaning things. And she's been in business for a few years now, and it's growing and it's amazing. So like my intention this year going into next year is to glean from the people that are mastering where they are. So I'm not wasting my time on, just some person that's on the internet that does sporadic podcasts about why you need coping skills. Like it's just,
and I think that it's important to have people who are actively excelling in, as you said, and where you're trying to get to, because if not, the amount of noise and the amount of people and frustrations and feelings will have you feeling like you're in limbo, like you're just, I don't know what I want to do or where I want to go. No, you have to figure out. We have to make a decision, and I think that's and how that baseline biblical. A double-minded person is unstable in all his ways. You're all over the place, and my goal today is to tell you, listen, you got to hollow out where you're going, and then you have to also be able to dismiss the noise that doesn't apply to where you're going, because you got too many opinions,
too many influences,
and too many influences trying to give their best,
fight over your attention.
No, the fight over your attention, and then you just out here trying to appease all of them, and you're running yourself ragged because you haven't solidified what it is that you're getting ready to bring to the table to be the life-changing agent that you are. And I get it. Everybody's not designed to be in the forefront. Everybody's not designed to be preaching and yelling and screaming. Some people are designed to handle some things in the background. But if that's the position that you're supposed to play it. But also, if that's the position that he's pulling you out of, get out of it. Because at this point, it's time for and where I want to use is efficiency. Like, what are you doing, and is it efficient? Some of us are doing things and it's not efficient. It's not propelling us forward. It's not taking us back. It's keeping us in the same place. And one thing that the Bible talks about is about having motion and movement. And yea, though I walk through the valley, we're going to a place. I say that all the time. But what happens is we sometimes get stuck in the surroundings, if that makes sense. We get stuck in what's going on around us. And I get it. We're human. We're real people. I comprehend it. But the truth of the matter is, God is trying to take us to a place. You got any comments? Anything new?
No, it's
just a bunch of people tuning in. Hey, John, Alexander. Hey, Charlotte.
Hey, party people. What's happening?
The one thing I'm learning as I get older is to take what you can from the people.
Timothy Felicia.
From the people of influence, and then leave the rest.
Yeah.
Like, I remember people had an issue with like, oh, if Oprah said it, then the world changes it. But I also remember that Oprah was the reason why Donnie McClurkin went multi-platinum, because she said, this is my favorite. It was his first CD. This is my favorite CD. This is who I listen to all day, every day. Week later, he was double platinum.
Yeah.
But I also understood that you was giving marriage advice and you was not there. Your
good morning. Good morning.
Was living in the back beach house. Like, so for me, it was like, use your influence to a certain thing, or we know, oh my God, we ain't gonna say this on Beyonce's internet, and Beyonce and Jay-Z are the ideal couple, but he cheated. Like, for me, it was like, take the influence where you get the wisdom. But the rest of the stuff, you don't have to take everything that is presented to you. Because we have made it so easy to present so much information. It's like, oh, if Beyonce said it, if Oprah said it, if this person said it, then it has to be true. No, if it's not consistent with what is going on in their lives, you don't have to take that. And I met Oprah. She's an amazing person. But certain things, her business model, absolutely. But relationship advice, no. Like, but because we are so inundated with so much information, and there's so many, Cardi said, I don't cook, I don't clean. And there was a video of her cooking and cleaning. You have to understand that you have to see what you can glean from, and then just ignore the rest of the noise. But because we're taught that these people made it, so you need to listen to them. That is just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna just listen to what they know. Like, glean from what you glean from. And then dismiss the rest.
And I think that, and I'll say this, and when gleaning, you have to know what you're coming for. Now that's a whole other conversation, okay? Because some of you are following people and they do so much, you don't even know what you're coming to grab from them. Like, are you grabbing their balance strategy? Are you grabbing their business strategy? Are you grabbing the fact that they know how to balance or they don't know how to balance? But some of us, and I'm going to go ahead and say this, some of us get so starstruck or so, the word I want to use was enamored. I don't know if that's the word. Enamored. With these individuals that we begin to take on so much of their characteristics that we don't even decipher what's good and what's bad. And I think that you have to be careful because the Bible, this is how crazy the Bible is. And forgive me if y'all like, Frank, you're so churchy. Welcome to my life. Okay. He says, put your trust in no man. Yet he says, I cause men to give into your bosom. Which lets me know the problem isn't you trusting in somebody alone, but don't lean too hard. Because there are characteristics and there are issues and there are challenges in every one. And if you lean on them too hard, you're going to see something you don't like.
Yeah.
But if you go to them and get from them what I told you to grab from them,
right,
it'll bless your life.
Right. Like we can talk about Will and Jada. Now it's like, well, if you want to make nice music that just bump,
Happy rap.
and it ain't gotta be cussing, and it ain't gotta be shooting, and it ain't gotta be doing anything. It ain't got to be extremely conscious or nothing like that. It's on 4. Don't worry about it. Then see how Will Smith did, even though it really wasn't Will Smith, it was Jazzy Jeff. But you can still find you a DJ that's gonna play you. That's gonna play you the rap. You know what I'm saying? That still work out for you. You know what I mean? Or like, well, I wouldn't follow how Jada act because I don't really care for it. But you know what I mean? If you want to do stuff like that, then that's fine. But I'm not gonna raise my kids how they raise their kids. Valid. I'm not gonna be in a relationship like how they in a relationship. Valid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm actually a question. I'm actually got the question. Those who are of our listening audience, and I want you to, if you're willing to answer it. Who are you living for? Who are you living for? What is your motivation? Of not just why you wake up, but why are you making the decisions that you're making? Who are you doing it for? What is your purpose? Because I realized that we had the women come on this past 2 Wednesdays, and for one season of their life, it was for their children. I'm looking for the children, make sure they're good, they're great, but now they're grown and adult, and they're grown and adult. So their kids is grown. So now they're finally identifying how to live for themselves. But my question for those who are just tapping in, like truly, like who are you living for? Mm-hmm. Like, are you really trying to satisfy yourself?
And who words are you valuing?
And who words are you? That's 100%. Because some sources, I'm gonna say this, I mean, I like it. Some sources that say they love you, their word value is killing you.
Listen, it's a real thing.
It's killing you. Because every time you make a decision, their 2 cents or their opinions about the decision that you made affects you.
It's popping up in your head.
Popping up in your head all the time. Now you're second guessing your decisions and your choices. And now you're not moving. Now here goes doubt, which now cancels out fear. So you in one lane, oh God, I need you, Lord. I trust you, Jesus. Help me, Lord. I don't know why I sound like that. But in one conversation, and then God gives you instructions on what to do, and you believe in this Sunday morning service, but by the time you get home and you'll talk to somebody else about it, they done cause you to second guess the fire you had in the moment.
Right.
If a person has so much influence on your life that they'll make you question the voice of God, that person ain't supposed to be in your life. Like because I am surrounded around people with crazy faith.
Yeah.
Like I remember a situation where I said, okay, I believe that it's time. And I was, because I love them, I shared it with them. God is telling me to leave my church. I don't think that's God. I don't think you hearing God. I think you leaving prematurely. I think you need, you're doing well at the place that you're at. And I was like, I hear you.
Yeah.
But I believe that if I had have listened, I would have never made it to covenant.
Valid.
In the timing that God wanted me to. Within that year of me getting to covenant, I was licensed as a minister.
Yeah.
And the person had to come back and was like, yeah, well, you heard God. And at that moment, that should have been a sign. But like for me, it was like I learned that it was a filtering system.
Yeah.
That first of all, you can't share everything with everybody.
For sure.
But if you have allowed a person's influence to influence you so much that you don't feel like you hearing God, you need to really evaluate where did you put this person?
Yeah.
And why is this person's voice stronger than God's voice?
Yeah. And I'm gonna say something that y'all not gonna like me for, but too bad because I know you love them so much and you care for them and they might have pushed you out. But there's a reason that when God shows up to certain people's lives, he removes them from the people. Mm-hmm. He told the disciples, follow me. They left their families, they left their jobs, and who is this man? But he told Abraham to leave his folks. He put Moses out of his people because sometimes the biggest challenge of opinions and conversation that impedes upon what God wants to do are the people that love you. I told somebody recently, they were watching it, too bad. But betrayal doesn't come from the enemy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Backstabbing doesn't come from the enemy. It comes from those who are in the camp who love you, and they may even mean well. But sometimes, y'all can check me if you want to, sometimes it is the people's opinion, these social concepts, these social lies, and even their views that they're projecting on you that impede upon your advancement and your growth.
Right.
And then you got to go through a tragedy or a trial or an error or a situation and realize, oh, this is what God was saying. I told you that a long time ago. You know, I said this to you earlier already. But because you let people, and I say this all the time, and my mother, who I love dearly, there was a season I had to dismiss her opinion. Mm-hmm. But as a mother, I get it. As a mother, I don't want to see my son struggle. I don't want to see all. I get it. But I was told to serve.
Yeah.
The Lord told me that this is the process that I have to take to. And had I never took it, I would never be the man that you guys see here today. Yeah. I wouldn't be him. Mm-hmm. But I had to dismiss. All right, I love my mother. I love these people. And I understand that you don't get what I'm going through.
Right.
I get it. But
sometimes you just got to do what's good for you.
You got to do what's good for you. And what they say, what's good for the gander is good for the goose. I don't know what that means. What's
good for the goose is good for the gander.
You know what that means. Certain quotes I just be hearing out here, okay? But it's like, I need to know that what I'm doing now is efficient. You know, where our church is about legacy. And what I'm doing now has to aid to something, to the value that I am and what I offer. Mm-hmm. And it has to aid to the fact that I'm no longer allowing outside voices in this society that we're in. There's so many things you can fight about. Mm-hmm. So many things that you can contest. But what does me contesting this with you do for me?
I think the biggest problem is that we just talk too much. like not trying to be funny, but we just talk entirely way too much because God will give you a word and you run to all your people and tell you, like, maybe God just wants you to just experience that moment.
Just do it.
Take in what I just said, process it, go home, pray about it, about the timing, how this is going to work out. But we talk as a people.
Yeah. We
talk entirely too much and we get frustrated when those with us or around us don't believe or don't buy into everything that we say. Well, why are you mad? You told them. Like, you have to understand that everything is not for everybody. And some
social media.
Listen, like Facebook has become the world's biggest diary. I'm tired of listening to y'all diary chronicles, to be honest with you. I've unfollowed a lot of people because it was like, I don't have to explain my breakup. But we was in season 4 of your relationship. And then you
better tell me how
and then you mad because people want to know how the series ended. You've been talking about this relationship for the last 4 seasons. For me, it's like you don't have to talk as much. Sometimes, if you want to talk, go to a counselor. I'm available. If you really just want to just have that space of, hey, I got this word. Talk to somebody with like minds that will not they're like, that ain't God. but we just want to talk so much, and God just be like, "Shut up!" Like,
you know what it be is that we be trying to take them with us. That's what it be. We be like, "Ooh, God said I can go and do this." I don't have no camera. They'd be like, we'd be like, "Oh, God said this," and they'd be like, "Man, I'm about to tell all my cousins because I want everybody to be a part of this." And it's like sometimes like you can't bring everybody with you.
And that is a true factor as well, because a part of this social concept that we have, we got to grab everybody, and no, we don't. I say this all the time. People get it. Jesus has the capacity to save the world, but if Jesus didn't grab everybody, who am I? Like, if Jesus couldn't grab child, he had a disciple violate. If Jesus himself, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ, the Christos, the anointed one, the great God, has the ability to save the world.
5 minutes.
But I came into my own, and my own received me not, so we moved on. What do you think I'm going to do? I am not getting ready to spin, and I don't know who I'm talking to online. I'm not getting ready to keep spinning my wheels trying to convince you on this next move. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't, and that's okay. And guess what? And I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to be in the corner talking about, I feel so bad. No, I don't. I told you what I'm getting ready to do.
Right.
You had an option to get on board, tap in, or not. And because you chose not to, guess what? Do it hurt? Absolutely. But I have to move on and go forward. And I think I preached this on Sunday, that some of us are fighting battles that we need to move on from. You're trying to persuade people, you got to move on from. Let your life represent the foundation and the principles and the goals that you're setting for yourself. I'm so sorry. I don't matter who I'm talking to. I'm so sorry. But I know you love your children. But some of them, you got to move. I know.
Man.
Love them, train them. They got to figure it out.
Pray for them.
And pray for them. Like, putting them in the hands of God is a real thing. Like, I'll say this honestly. I'm going to train up my son to the best of my ability. And I'm going to put him in the hands of God.
But if it's God playing, he need to go to jail to get his life together.
That's my nephew.
Guess what?
Because
I'm not talking about him.
Because what it is there's factors in this world outside my home that's going to play an impact on his life. Yeah. My hope is that I've just done my due diligence. But after I've laid I don't know what my daughters may find them. Life is lifing out here. And who knows what they're going to encounter or see outside this home, outside of Tyra and I in this church life. I try my best to balance it out. But what I can't do is be so concerned with, this is why this is good for somebody, be so concerned with society's opinions and thoughts and raising my children that I project their concerns.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not my reality. I have to deal with them where they are. But because you're talking about church hurt was over here for you and I'm not. Well, I'm going to balance my household the best way I know how here. I'm going to take my lessons. I'm going to take these life lessons. I'm going to read some books, understand these things. But I'm going to follow God's lead and train up my children the way they should go.
Right.
But the text tells us when they get old, they won't depart. What happens between training and getting old?
Right.
They got to figure that. They got to figure that out. Yeah. Whether they're going to numb your whole and get killed and then run back. I don't know. Right. But what happens is I can't allow society to project it. This is going to be good. I can't allow society to project an issue in my household that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I know that's your trauma. Now, I can learn from your trauma to assess, all right, we can do some things differently. Sorry that you had to go through that for us to learn it, but I'm not going to project just because I'm a preacher and these are preachers' kids that they're going to grow up hating church when I know I can find balance to make sure that there is no lack for them as I serve my king.
Yeah. But
that requires dismissing the noise of people's opinions all the time.
Right. Or just doing what you're supposed to be doing in general.
In general.
I can't allow everything and everybody to say stuff. And sometimes that person that you can't allow their opinion could be their mama or their daddy.
No. and I think that
it'd be like, look, look, this is how I'm gonna be. If that's how you're gonna be, I'm letting you know that I'm not gonna be that way.
Valid.
Because that's the crazy thing when Trey and the twins were born, they was like, "Oh, I wonder which one gonna be the preacher." Maybe none of them. Maybe none of them are gonna be preacher. Trey loved the drums, like he may be a church drummer, but like it was just like, oh, because it's gonna follow in the footsteps of their dad, or maybe not. Maybe they're gonna be business owners.
What makes it crazy is that we put so much on, especially kids in church, to be people in church when the people, their fathers, their mothers, they didn't start in church.
Valid.
They was pimping, drug dealing, all types of random stuff. And now you want them to be.
I won't confess on
now
those
you want them to
things,
be.
but yes.
Now you want them to be bishop at 35, and it's like that's not going to happen.
Tyra said they're preachers' kids, but they're R&B.
And I told that the bishop. I said,
the post about the whole ski thing, hilarious.
but I told Bishop, I said, oh yeah, sorry, that gospel I hit for him. R&B, that's what we love. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yes, that rhythm of blues. Yes, but we got a quick commercial. We'll be right back. Don't y'all go nowhere. We're gonna keep this conversation going. We're going to a place.
A red carpet event. Noah Red Carpet Award Show, Saturday, October 21st at 6 p.m. Doors open up at 5 p.m. at Antonio's Banquet Hall, 7708 Niagara Falls Boulevard in Niagara Falls, New York. A silent auction, basket raffle and wine raffle, and dinner and dancing. Get your tickets now by going to noahniagara.org or call 716-628-2486.
Oh, it's my girl. Fire 716. Listen, make sure you guys tap into that Noah's award show and gala going on October 21st. If you can name and let me know the acronym Noah and what it means, I'll give you a ticket. We have one ticket we're giving away. The first person that can give us the acronym of Noah, we got a ticket for you. And for that event, you can get spicy, seasoned, and go out and stretch your stuff and socialize. But back to the conversation at hand. We have to filter. I'm gonna say I don't know why this is so pressing upon me, but I don't know what this family structure is for somebody. Here you go to Prophet, right? But you've been so engulfed in family that they're stifling your advancement in life. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that the husband and wife, but you're so trying to please everybody inside your unit, a family, that you're really not making the decisions that's really going to advance you forward.
Right.
And it's time now to make those hard decisions. They can make oodles and noodles now. They can cook for themselves now. They can navigate. They can. Some of them can go out to the club and do it. They're functioning now, which means that you need to be making sure that the value of who you are is coming back into play. And I say this for somebody outside of the parental role by itself,
right?
Because that's a task. It's a task. It's a responsibility. But there's another level to you that God wants to get out of you. But you have to dismiss the opinions of those around you and what they think you should be doing versus what God has given you the unction to do in your spirit.
No, that don't mean leave your kids at home.
5
hours, go to the club on Saturday.
Yeah, the spirit told me I need to go treat myself and go to the club. No. There's some schooling goals. There's some career changes. There's some things that you want to try in business. And my Lord, to Chanel. Well, that'd be the Lord. And what happens is you've been holding yourself back because you want to make sure he good. You want to make sure they good. You want to make sure that these factors are okay. Mm. Let me help you. They're gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. That's what I hear. Just carry everything at the end.
That man was taking care of himself before you
got there. For sure. And it's not that you're neglecting responsibilities. What happening is you're now aiding to the fact that, listen, you know what? I have an important part to play here as myself. Because I told this to my wife. She's watching. I'll talk about her. I told her, even that you're an amazing mother, and I love what you do for these children, you know. But I don't want you to get so engulfed in motherhood that you neglect the things that you bring to the table.
Right.
You are actor, you are singer, you are a guitar player, you are a model, you can paint. These components that make you who you are
go further than
just
as a mother, helping with projects.
No, your day will come. You know, it's coming
to shine in the school.
But that's something that we need to. I want to always to push for her, and even also because I'm for everybody, for myself, like Frank. There's so many things that you do, but don't neglect the fact that there's some things that you don't necessarily promote about yourself.
Yeah,
that's a part of you that you need to address as well. Now, people are Frank, you entertainer. You listen. Long story short, I am an entertainer, and I'm a great entertainer. I thank God for that. Okay, but there's a part of me that's real. Don't say nothing in the corner. Listen, and people like Frank, no, not you. But I'd be like, my wife used to say, "Babe, why when you out there you always loud? But when you're at home, you go, babe, ain't no need to entertain you." I'm like, we got this partnership for a long time. Then she'd be like, babe, you know.
Because my man can sing.
My man can sing. What's crazy is I want to sing so bad, but I want to sing decent. It ain't gotta be well, just decent.
You already got the album cover,
Right?
But no, like with forced extroversion is a real thing.
Valid.
Because when I am at home, I am saying nothing. I'm just like, because they're like, there's no way you're an introvert. I very much am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm extroverted because I have to, and my career forces me to. But if I could be quiet for a whole day, I promise you, I will be quiet for a whole day. But getting back to what you were saying, I've noticed this a lot just talking about with parenting is that a lot of parents become really disdain. They have like a certain anger or disdain that they invested. So I ain't never had no time for myself because I was putting all this in my kids, and it was just like, but you made that decision to engulf. Now, don't get me wrong. If your kid is 2, take care of your kid.
No problem.
We talking about if the kid is 16, 18.
No, yeah, there's
ages of independence. There is a balance that comes with that. And
I ain't saying don't be a parent to your children.
Don't let Fire 716 said don't parent your children.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you, like Frank said, you have to learn the balance and ask. Because it's okay for introspection.
You should not be taking your 16-year-old to the store every time you go into the store.
Listen, like I tell people all the time, introspection often is an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Taking an internal look at yourself. She said, just people assuming because my husband is loud and outspoken, I am. No. Listen, I know, sis.
Yeah.
But like,
come out of that shadows of not talking.
But introspection is one of the best qualities you can have for yourself because it's a consistent looking at you. Okay, what can I adjust? What can I move? What can I change? What works for me? What doesn't work for me? Yeah. It's a blessing to have, even in parenting, even in career building. There's just sometimes that I take time and just be like, I ain't doing nothing today. Yeah. And it's not that and they're like, I feel guilty if I don't do nothing. I don't. Yeah. Because 6 days a week, I have 13-hour days. I have 14-hour days. Because
one thing about this parenting process that I'm developing as a father of 3 in the new beginning stages of 3 years, they 2 and 1 or 2 years. They something. Is 2 and 1. They're like, how is that possible? The Lord. Okay. But what happens is that you need to be the best value that they see, and not just as a caregiver, but in the quality of who you are as a whole. That when I want my son not to see me as always tired, always exhausted, being dad is always tired, or dad is always needing a nap, or dad is always fainting at the sink. That's not what I'm doing. Father, you tell me something? Okay, no. But I want him to see, oh no, my father's a businessman. Oh, he's balancing that out. He makes time for family. We here. I can jump on his back, smack him upside the head, and still survive. Like I can do these things. But I also want my daughters to see, I want to see a man who found his balance. A man who found how to take care of the home and run the business and do ministry and be there for us and balance that out. How to really serve God authentically and not feel abandoned or abused. Like there are factors, but I can't do those things if I'm not applying that kind of influence and pressure to who I am as a man. And here I am, I'm at 35 now, figuring this out. Where before at 21. Serving at 21 and single was easy. It was me.
Going to church 6 days out the week was
Easy.
for me.
Okay, making sacrifices. I can take a hit for
I
me.
had nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do. Okay, but what happens is, and this is why the Paul says, as far as those who are serving, listen, it's easier for you to be by yourself and serve. But if you can't keep yourself, marry. It's better to marry than to burn. But what you're saying, Frank? What I'm saying is that you are going to have to put in the work and the time required to do what needs to be done. And I'm going to say this because this is how I hear it. Your execution in this moment is not going to be the same as it was 5-10 years ago. It's time to elevate and evolve in your execution, your value, and what influences you. Mm-hmm. And if you're not willing to do that, you're going to definitely burn yourself out. You're going to feel incomplete. You're going to feel exhausted. We got a call. That's a real caller. That's a spam.
Nah, that's somebody for real.
All right, go right ahead. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just called to send a bunch of love your way.
Appreciate you, King. Yes, sir. Black Ernie, appreciate you, King. Appreciate you 100%. How's it going out over there? You doing good?
It's going good, man. Everything went good. You know, putting this plan together.
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful struggle, but you know, God will always give you glory and victory.
No, 100%. It's always a part of the plan. It's always a part of the plan. Ernie, I love you, King. Thank you for calling. Much love. Valid. I appreciate that. That's Black Ernie. He's from a native of Niagara Falls. He's currently in Vegas, and he's doing his thing. And I think that, I'll use him as an example because he called in. Sometimes your surroundings can't handle the fullness of who you are. So sometimes you learn there, you grab there, and you glean from there, but your application isn't always to be back. That sounds crazy, right? To be back there. So you have to be extracted from there to now take what you've learned in this grind. I thank you, and apply it in new areas and take the next level. And that is something that Black Ernie has done with his comedy and career. That now he's in Vegas, and like he said, it's still work, it's still grind, and sometimes we expect it to be I learned this, I'm out of here. It's gonna no, it's work required.
Yeah,
it's an investment required, no matter where you are. But the question is, can the people around you handle who you are and the value that you present? Because some people have high value. This sounds crazy. This sounds crazy. This is a fresh deposit because you a Tiffany person. If you take a Tiffany jewelry and you put that thing in that blue box, and that presentation hit proper, you know the value of what's happening here. Mm-hmm. But you take that same jewelry and put it in some rugged situation, that value is still there, but the people won't see it the same. Because sometimes it's how you present and where you present what value you have. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So sometimes your family, they've seen. I'm about to get out of here. I'm not supposed to be. I got 3 minutes to preach this. I don't know if I can. Because if you're telling me that it is coal that produces the diamond, there's heat, there's pressure, and sometimes people are there to see you become the value, but they can only see you for being the coal. Yeah, you're a diamond now, you're shining, but all they can recall is the heat and the pressure and the dirt that took you to become what you are now. Therefore, they will never honor you or respect you for the value that you are. But take that value and put that among people who know how to honor it and respect it. You can shine. Like I am preaching to myself.
If people like to hit the cash, it is $fire.
No, because listen,
for the word.
We got Fatima Fires coming up next. Now, I got time. If you want to sow, Fire 716 Radio. If you do want to sow for real, the building needs to be paid for. Rent is due. Feel free to sow and give. But for real, a serious note, you cannot always remain where you've been, even though you're evolving.
Yeah. You
can evolve in a place, and that place just can't handle who you are and where you are, because now you know your value.
Some places are just meant to be a testimony.
Right. For sure.
And that go for church homes.
Valid.
That go for jobs.
And that's when you have to make church transition, it's not always a negative thing. What makes it negative is how you handle it
and how you leave.
But what happens is, because where you
just stop showing up on Sunday.
Listen.
Ooh, my wife want to preach. She says, the woman God says, or you can flip it and say, people want to shine without going through the pressure. They shine but don't last long because it isn't authentic and wasn't made through pressure. Oh, come on, Papa. Come on, okay?
Because there's a difference between a diamond and a cubic zirconia.
That for sure.
The processes are definitely different.
Absolutely.
They look the same until you put it under a gray scope. Like, honey, $25 for that. It's supposed to $10,000.
$10,000, no valid, and that's a real thing. And you have to be willing. You have to be willing to come out from among them. You listen. Ain't nobody about to pressure you. Ain't nobody. You have to be willing. And I told you recently, I talked about being snatched. You have to be willing to be snatched. And when I say that, I'm talking about just your body in shape. But
by random people.
By random people.
Car,
right. But you got to be snatched out of them. And before you even physically make the adjustment, mentally, you got to make this adjustment. Mentally, it has to change for you. And because when you change mentally, the value that you have is identified. That you put people in a position where they have to honor that value, and then you be able to identify who can and who cannot. And when you realize those who cannot, they can exit stage left because their need for production has been solidified. I don't need you now.
We can still be friends.
We can still be friends. This isn't a hatred. This isn't a I can't stand you or we don't like it. It's just like, no, you don't honor my value. So our engagement is limited. Our exchange is short.
It's okay to modify friendship.
Valid. Listen. All right, y'all. Our time is coming to a close. Get ready for Fatima Fridays right here on Friday 716 Radio. Listen, make sure you guys get your ticket this week between today and Sunday. Your ticket for the Noah's red carpet and gala and silent auction. They're having it August 21st. You don't want to miss that. It's a red carpet affair. If you want to get dressed up, get fancy. October, what did I say? August. Did I say August? My mind is in the renewed season, fiscal year. I don't know. So in October, coming up next Saturday, get your tickets. Tap into them. If you can let me know what the acronym NOAH stands for, I have one ticket to give away. First person to do it, type in the chat. NOAH, what it means. You can Google it. Your phone is in your hand and come back. Tap into that. We have a ticket for you. But listen. Elevate your value, elevate your worth. Anything you want to give to the people?
No.
Daniel, anything you want to drop off to the people?
Be great.
Last thing is, listen, also, I'll let you know on Friday night, we are having a spooky game night. Pull up. It starts at 6 to 11 p.m. It's going to be creepy stuff. Just creepy. We're not doing no witchery. Just creepy. Just creepy. Creepy stuff. Pull up. It's gonna be game night. We talk about spades, dominoes. We got some creepy games. We got some computer. We got some stuff happening. I'm excited. It's going down. Wife. Yeah, I said what I said. It's going down. Friday 716. Much love. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Fatima Fridays. You don't want to miss that because it's a party. Hit that spooky joint and then get out of here.